So he managed to get them and get control of them and remake the world in his own image. Ash winced. What happened? Well, the universe basically started to come apart at the seams. None of the Celebi could help because Diogo's power was changing the rules of time. And as for trying to intervene, how come we're here then? Ash asked. Was it this boss you mentioned? All in good time, Ash, Sir Aaron said. Now, you saw your life, and so did we. That pointed out a few things to us. One of them in particular has to do with aura. Right, like when we went up the tree of beginning, Ash agreed. Sorry about what happened to Lucario. He shook his head. It doesn't matter, Ash, Sir Aaron said. You were there with him at the end. That's more than you could be expected to do without any training. Speaking of which, what you did at the tree showed that you've got natural talent with aura. I mean, a lot of natural talent. Ash blinked. Most novitiates can barely fill their own aura, Sir Aaron informed him. If you'd been around in my day, I'd have snatched you up as an apprentice before anyone else could. Sir Aaron smirked for a moment at the same unexplained joke. Anyway, he went on, I'm going to train you in how to use it. Train me, but what's the point? I mean, Ash added hastily, if the world ended, all in good time, Sir Aaron repeated. Now, you use these gloves. Do you know what they do? Well, I guess they make using aura easier, Ash shrugged. That's pretty close. They actually work by resonating with natural aura frequency. Specifically that of the greater warrior, Sir Aaron. Ash chuckled. You might have heard of him. I think he lives around here, Sir Aaron went on. I might even have his phone number. That was incongruous enough, Ash noticed. You know what a phone is? Arceus kept me up to date. Yeah, I know. Sir Aaron chuckled along with him. Anyway, that means for you to use them, you have to have the same frequency, which is an incredible coincidence. Again, that unexplained joke. And that means they're kind of an aid, like a bicycle is compared to walking. They give you extra power, but they also make it easier to do things. It had been a long week, a week in which Ash found himself needing neither sleep nor food. One where every single hour was focused on training. Sir Aaron had focused on two things, explaining that they'd be important to get straight now and that the rest could wait when he had time to train and practice. Later, when later was never explained, but it was all so interesting that Ash just kept learning exactly what Sir Aaron told him he had to learn. Surprisingly, combat was not on the list. Ash learned a bit of the basics on how to form a shield that lasted a few wobbly seconds and to throw an aura sphere, but what was apparently in the category of learn later, instead Sir Aaron first taught him how to train his aura and how to sense when he was doing well. And he went down an alley into the mental uses of aura. Ash refined his ability to sense a familiar aura signature and how to see things on the other side of solid walls. He learned how to feel the thoughts of someone nearby and and a little bit on how to defend his own mind. Strangely, it was the ability to touch the mind of someone else, which Sir Arian seemed happiest about, though his only explanation was what had become his mantra: all in good time. Then, after what felt like 7 days of solid effort, Sir Aaron stopped in the middle of explaining how aura could strengthen the body. "What is it?" Ash asked as the knight stood. "Is something wrong?" "No," Sir Aaron replied. Then out of the darkness stepped Arceus, the creator deity, the original one, and someone Ash had saved the life of once, though it was thousands of years in the past, and may have retroactively been unsuccessful. "He is ready?" Ash jumped at the sheer presence. Unwounded and hail, Arceus' mental voice seemed to be more real than Ash himself. But Sir Aaron merely nodded. "Yes, he's ready." "Very good. Explain to him what I am about to do." Sir Aaron nodded and turned to look Ash in the eye. The only way Arceus found to prevent Cyrus destroying the world was to prevent it from happening in the first place. So he asked the world beyond, which is unaffected as yet, whether there was anyone who could help. Aaron smiled. "And as it happened, you got a couple of people back there who think highly of you." He held up 2 fingers and tapped the first one. "First, there's my old friend Lucario. He recommended you straight away, and secondly, there was the Latios whose soul was in the soul Dew and Altamare." "Whoa," Ash said, trying to get his head around that little detail. "So with that reminder and those references, Arceus and I decided to test you. And we have, in a way." "How?" "We saw your past." "You probably noticed that," Ash's nod. Sir Aaron went on, "And we were both impressed. It's not everyone who saves the world once, let alone how many times you did, especially considering you're still a teenager. So the choice was clear." Sir Aaron took a deep breath. "We're sending you back in time to change all this," he said. "There's a reward, of course," the knight went on. "For a start, there's how you're now trained in aura. That's just one thing, of course. There's others, which you'll find out later, and the most important one is this: you can choose the time you go back to. It'll be your mind and your younger body, so you can essentially do things again." Sir Aaron held up a hand to forestall any questions. "Hold on. I think Arceus is ready." "Indeed I am." Arceus stepped aside to reveal what had been in his shadow. "I have created a second Dialga, twin to the one outside. It has the task of sending you back, however far you want to go." Ash barely even had to think about it. "I want to go back to the day I met Pikachu. The day my journey began, when I first set off from Tep Palette." Sir Aaron laughed. "Ha! Told you, great lump." Arceus looked displeased. "I thought any day but then was good odds." "Wait," Ash pointed out. "Were you 2 betting on me or something?" Sir Aaron tugged his collar. "No." "Somehow I don't believe you," Ash replied. "Now, Dialga." And that second of absolute stillness, Ash thought to himself, using the or a legendary Pokemon capable of controlling time simply to avoid Having to answer some awkward questions, that really took some beating.